Cherokee word for our removal is Tgeja'i Lustana'i. It literally means when they drove us. It's the same word that we use to talk about herding animals. And so the Army built 25 open-air stockades, and in 25 days, they rounded up 15,000 people and herded them into those open-air stockades. One of the women that was being herded was actually given birth, and they wouldn't let her rest, and she eventually just sort of laid down on the ground and died. There was no sanitation or shelter in the stockades, and in a few months, thousands of people had died. People then had to walk west. And you know, the estimate is that 4,000 people died. There's a contemporary scholar that says with the sharp decline in birth rates, the total death toll is probably, or the total loss of life is probably closer to 10,000, and that's out of a population of 16,000. And I think people have this vague notion that, you know, people had to walk a long ways and a lot of people died and it was tragic, but I think we don't have a concept of how violent some of these chapters of our history are, and how we haven't gone back as a country and said, okay, we committed genocide, this was wrong, we need to change our laws, we need to make sure that something like this doesn't ever happen again. We've just moved on and forgotten about it. The policies and the power our government gave itself to dispossess indigenous peoples of our land still governs how we treat people living at the margins of U.S. empire. And so when our government wanted to ban Muslims from entering our country, separate migrants at the border, detain enemy combatants indefinitely, or suspend the international rules of war to fight terror, it used principles of federal Indian law to do so. And so a lot of times we treat, you know, Native American history like this distant chapter, and the legal terrain it created as some sort of siloed backwater of American law, but actually it's foundational.